I want to move on, though, to Anzac Day, of course, a week on from Anzac Day. And for millions of Australians, most of us surely, Anzac Day is an occasion for commemoration and to remember those who served, many, of course, and especially those who gave their lives. But on that sacred day, the ABC couldn't help having a crack at its relevance. An online article by journalist Siobhan Marin mentioned Lismore woman Edda Lampis, a second-generation Italian-Australian who, according to the ABC, has always felt alienated on Anzac Day. During World War II, the villages of her parents in southern Italy and Sardinia were bombed by the Allied forces, Marin wrote. "When I wake up to Anzac Day," said the community health worker, "and the fighter jets are flying overhead, I just get a full feeling of dread in my body. I know that those fighter jets are being used in conflicts overseas to bomb people like me. I'm very aware that my ancestors were the enemy." Yes, her parents were so traumatised by the Allied bombing that after the war they migrated to an Allied nation, Australia. Here's a thought. Could it be that the Allied planes in World War II were targeting not her family, but the fascists? As for her statement, "I'm very aware that my ancestors were the enemy," perhaps someone should tell her that Italy was part of the coalition that fought the empires of Germany and Austria-Hungary in World War I. Oh, and by the way, is this the same Edda Lampis of the International Socialist Organisation, who is featured in a Green Left publication railing against, quote, "the crisis of capitalism internationally and the vicious attacks of the Howard government on workers and the poor," unquote? You and I might think that information might shed light on why Ms Lampis feels alienated, but the ABC apparently didn't feel it necessary to tell you. Louise, when you're quoting, hard left activists involved in organisations, you ought to let people know, oughtn't you?
Yes, absolutely, and just a disgraceful story and a disgraceful attack on Anzac Day, which is inclusive by nature, isn't it? The fact that if you're a veteran, you go to commemorate the day, if you're a family veteran, or if you just want to be a citizen who's proud of how our armed forces have served our country, then you commemorate the day. And I just am disgusted that the inclusivity debate is now seeping into something as precious and as sacred, as you say, as Anzac Day. It's just unbelievable.
Yeah, it's a bit sad. Sophie, well, look, we know the media, journalistic push always to look for conflict, but surely things like Anzac Day, you don't need to look for it. I mean, if there's a protest or whatever, you've got to cover it, but you don't have to find the antagonism. It is good enough just to report the commemoration.
Anzac Day, Chris, seems to be an easy target for these extreme views, I guess, heavily left people attacking the day. And as Louise put it very, beautifully there, it's a sacred day, it's a precious day, it should be left alone. And I really wish people would honour Anzac Day that it deserves and those who fought for our country.